We're playing Legacy Dredge, the deck that uses Lion's Eye Diamond, Faithless Looting, Golgari Grave-Troll, and Dread Return. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. This is Legacy Dredge, and it's quite the beautiful deck. The idea with this is that you're not playing traditional Magic. You're not playing a bunch of cards from your hand and then winning on the battlefield with accumulated value over time. Instead, you're playing cards from the graveyard very quickly to overwhelm your opponent and then win the game. How the cards get there? Well, that's the fun part. We get to play one of my personal favorites, Lion's Eye Diamond, which the clause here is discard your hand as a cost, add 3 mana of any color. So you could even use that mana for something like a Cephalid Coliseum that allows you to draw 3 and discard 3. Well, this deck is called Dredge. Let's talk about the Dredge mechanic. So instead of drawing a card, instead you can dredge X, where X is the number on the card. So with Golgari Grave-Troll, instead of drawing a card, you would mill 6 cards, put this to your hand. So with something like Cephalid Coliseum, you can mill up to 18 cards. And then when you mill cards, you could flip over a Narcomoeba, which would go from your library to the battlefield. Alright, well now you have this 1/1 creature. You could sacrifice it to Cabal Therapy to discard a card from your opponent's hand. And then Poxwalkers will come back from the graveyard because you're not playing a spell from your hand. You then could play a Dread Return. Okay, so now we're seeing the value build, but we're doing it in a non-traditional way. And then you get back your Ox of Agonis. Now you could draw 3 again, milling 18 more cards. You hit the other Dread Return, and all of a sudden you have an empty deck, and Thassa's Oracle will get the job done. So that's what we're doing here today. It's an explosive graveyard combo deck, and to protect that graveyard, we have Silent Gravestone in the sideboard, which would stop Fairy Macabre, Surgical Extraction, which are 2 of the most popular cards at the moment. We also have Leyline of Sanctity, which protects you from Bajuka Bog and Endurance and discard spells and things like that. Leyline of the Void for opposing combo decks, and then we have Into the Floodmaw for opposing copies of Leyline of the Void. This deck is fast, it's fun, and well, who doesn't love a good graveyard combo deck? I know that I do. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, support the channel. But without any further ado, let's hop on into match number 1. I will see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. For round number 1 using Legacy Dredge, we're on the play. Alright, this hand seems pretty good. We will keep. We have a Dredger, we have a secondary cantrip effect, and by that I mean we have both Faithless Looting and Careful Study. So the idea here is that you want to play Mana Confluence on the first turn, we'll play Careful Study or Faithless Looting on the first turn, discard a Stinkweed Imp, and then probably Bridge from below. And then on your draw step, you'll dredge 5, and then you can untap and play the other card, dredge a whole bunch of more cards, and then just do the thing. Okay, so our opponent has kept 7. We will play Mana Confluence, and then let's lead on Faithless Looting. We drew Cephalid Coliseum, a great draw. The Narcomoeba, less so. Okay, pass the turn. Okay, our opponent played an Elvish Spirit Guide, I can't talk right now. Exile the Elvish Spirit Guide, Eldrazi Temple, Chalice of the Void for 1, and then a Chalice of the Void for 0. Sure. We will dredge a Stinkweed Imp. We had a Narcomoeba. We'll say always yes, and then auto yield to the trigger. Okay, we'll play the Cephalid Coliseum. And then let's play another Narcomoeba here, and we'll pass the turn. So I cannot use the Cephalid Coliseum because I hit a Narcomoeba. That means that there's only 6 cards in the graveyard, but I think you're supposed to play out the Narcomoeba, or take the Narcomoeba, rather than, like, I can just dredge next turn and then use Cephalid Coliseum then. And now we'll dredge 5. We hit the Ox of Agonis. Let's make a blue, and now we'll activate the Cephalid Coliseum because we have Threshold. We'll target ourselves. Golgari Grave-Troll, Stinkweed Imp, and Golgari Thug. And now we'll discard 3. I think I want to put the Bridge from Below in the graveyard, Golgari Grave-Troll, and Cabal Therapy. Let's go to combat. Our deck doesn't do anything with haste creatures anymore because we're not playing Icarid or anything like Flamekin Zealot. So you might as well attack with your copies of Narcomoeba. And now we'll play Cabal Therapy, sacrificing Narcomoeba. There's a Chalice of the Void in play. Oh no, I knew that. But you could still sacrifice your stuff here. And this will trigger your copies of Bridge from Below and your Poxwalkers. And now we can Cabal Therapy again, making a bunch of zombies. Who doesn't love that? Oh, I should have sacrificed the Poxwalkers. That was dumb. I was not thinking there. I'm sorry. Because now I'm going to get one less zombie. I should have sacrificed the Poxwalkers. I won't do that again. Lesson learned. I knew what I was doing, and then I was just sort of rambling through and just didn't do it. Okay, so now Ox of Agonis. We will discard our hand. And now we'll dredge the Grave-Troll. Another Grave-Troll. And another Grave-Troll. So now we'll get a few more copies of Narcomoeba. So we are at 8 cards left in deck. I could dredge some more. I could also just put a giant Golgari Grave-Troll in play, and I think that's probably better here. We'll do that. Okay. Nice Eldrazi deck, by the way. Double Chalice of the Void. You mulligan to double Chalice against me, and now you're being punished. It's kind of what you deserve. So now we have this massive army, and we'll pass the turn. And our opponent concedes. Surprise, surprise. So normally against decks like Eldrazi, they have one of two things. They have Fairy Macabre, or they have Leyline of the Void, and it's tough to guess which one they have. But for me, I think you're supposed to bring into the Floodmaw, because they're a Chalice of the Void deck, and I guess like they're both 1 mana cost answers, so maybe you're supposed to do a split until you know. But I like the ability that against Fairy Macabre, I could still just win. But against Leyline of the Void, I can't. So I think you just want to bring in a bunch of copies of Into the Floodmaw. Traditionally, you're supposed to board out breakthroughs in post-board games because you're trying to be less all-in combo. So that is the idea behind siding out breakthrough. And then we need one more card to sideboard out here. You could look at maybe boarding out the Thassa's Oracle package and keeping... Like, you could also board out 1 Dread Return. Also, a weird thing I noticed. The art for Thassa's Oracle is super zoomed in. None of the other cards are, except for Thassa's Oracle here. So, don't know why it's like that. But I think I'm actually okay boarding out Oracle. Like, our opponent will pass the turn to us, and we're just going to overwhelm them. So I think that's okay. I'm good to try this out. No Dredge creature. We do have lands plus Careful Study, but I'm not sure if that's actually worthwhile. We will mulligan. We have answers to Leyline of the Void and all this stuff, so I think we keep this. We'll get rid of one of the copies of Into the Floodmaw. No Leyline of the Void. Ancient Tomb. Talisman of Curiosity. Chalice of the Void on 0. I don't have a Lion's Eye Diamond, I don't care. Stinkweed Imp. We'll play Mana Confluence, and let's play Faithless Looting. Discard Stinkweed Imp and Stinkweed Imp. Pass the turn. 3 mana here for a Glaring Fleshraker. And they had Fairy Macabre, okay. We now draw a Lion's Eye Diamond. So what I can do is bounce the Chalice of the Void, giving them a tapped fish. We'll play the Lion's Eye Diamond, and we will hold priority, cast Faithless Looting. In response, I'll add 3 red. We still have Golgari Thug, so we're able to dredge the Thug for 4. Ooh, I didn't hit another dredger there. So now we could bring back the Ox of Agonis, which gives me more dredges. So the question is, do I have 8 things I want to remove? So the 2 lands, Lion's Eye Diamond would be 3, Into the Floodmaw could be 4. Part of me thinks that maybe I should just do Faithless Looting because I could Ox of Agonis next turn off my 2 lands. I like that more. So our Poxwalkers will come back here. We'll dredge Golgari Thug and Golgari Grave-Troll. Discard, discard. We hit a few copies of Narcomoeba. We'll say yes. And now I could dread return the Ox of Agonis, and I think I like that. We'll get a few zombies here. And now we can dredge Golgari Grave-Troll. Let's slide our graveyard up here. Stinkweed Imp and a Golgari Grave-Troll. Another Narcomoeba. And now I will dread return on Ox of Agonis. Sacrifice the Poxwalkers, Narcomoeba, and a zombie. And we'll create some more zombies and a few more Poxwalkers. And our opponent concedes the match. Nice, very macabre. We are now 1-0. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. For round number 2, we're on the draw. I've opened up a hand that has a lot of lands and it's kind of slow. So you could just draw, discard the Golgari Grave-Troll over time, build up to Cephalid Coliseum. But, I mean, you're just looking at a very long game. Instead, I'm going to mulligan and just try to find something a little bit faster. So here you have Lion's Eye Diamond, but nothing really to do with it. We'll go to 5. No Dredge creature. But I think I'm actually going to keep it. We'll bottom the 2 copies of Cabal Therapy. If I draw a Dredge creature, this hand is very explosive. And if I don't, we could play a Faithless Looting looking for one, and then have a Faithless Looting for the following turn to do something broken. They play Polluted Delta into Underground Sea. Main deck Nile Spellbomb, huh? That's going to hurt. Yeah, sure. We did find a Dredge creature, but against this main deck Nile Spellbomb, it's not looking so hot. Alright, City Brass deals me 1. Faithless Looting. We will discard Golgari Thug and Bridge from Below. We want them to use the Spell Bomb, but we don't want to overextend into it with the Stinkweed Imp. So I discarded the Golgari, the Bridge from Below, because I want them to use the Spell Bomb. If I only discard the Golgari Thug, I don't think they're going to use it because I don't think they're going to believe that it's enough. And they have a Wasteland. That hurts. Okay. And now they're going to use the Spell Bomb. Sure. I'd love a land here. We did not find one. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond, hope it doesn't get dazed. The Force of Will. Sure. We will pass the turn. I suppose I could have played out Lion's Eye Diamond on turn 1. I don't know. I wanted to hide how good our hand was, but maybe I just messed up. We'll just pass. We're still in this game even though it looks really bad. Like, if our opponent doesn't find a threat, eventually I can just start to slow dredge by discarding and drawing every turn and then dredging that card until we eventually hit. But it requires our opponent to give us a lot of time here. Narcomoeba is not a very good draw. We'll pass. End step Orcish Bowmasters. I think our 7-card hand in hindsight would have been very good against this. Well, maybe not the Nile Spellbomb. Yeah, maybe I'm just wrong here. Another Lion's Eye Diamond. Okay, let's try it. And now they have the Daze. Brutal. They have Thoughtseize. So I'm going to go ahead and concede here. Because I'm not going to get to the draw discard portion of this game before we're too low on life. Like, it just doesn't make sense. They're about to attack for 4. I'm 2 cards away before I even get to 7. So that means that they deal me 8. And by the time I could discard, they have lethal. So we'll just go to game number 2. Alright, I feel like this is a pretty good matchup for Leyline of Sanctity. Because they have Nile Spellbomb, they have discard, so that means Leyline is pretty good. And then you could try something like Silent Gravestone for Fairy Macabres. That's 7 cards coming in. I think you're supposed to board out. I mean, it's going to happen a lot this league, but I think you're supposed to board out the Oracle package. And when you bring in Silent Gravestone, you should be boarding out Dread Return because they work against each other. This says cards in graveyards can't be targets. Dread Return targets. We don't want to do that. So we'll board out those 3. And now we need to board out some more because we're at 64 cards. Once again, Breakthrough is an all-in card. We're not trying to go all in. So we're going to board that out, and then we have one more cut. There's some lists out there only playing 3 copies of Bridge from Below. That could be your extra card. My thing is, do you really want to board one out when you're trying to play a game now that revolves around value between Cabal Therapy and Poxwalkers and stuff like that? I'm not sure. So, I'm just talking out loud here. It's probably the card that's easiest to board out here. I don't want to board one out, but maybe it's fine. We'll see how this goes. I'm not confident with that final decision. So we have Leyline. The issue is that this hand isn't very good. I'm going to mulligan. This one seems okay. We'll bottom Bridge from Below. City of Brass. We'll tap it for a red. Play Faithless Looting. Play Force of Negation. Pass the turn. And there's the Nile Spellbomb. Careful Study. We'll play out Mana Confluence. Play Careful Study. Get rid of Bridge from Below and a Golgari Grave-Troll. Pass the turn. Next turn I could hardcast Poxwalkers. Just throwing that out there. It's a choice we have. They play Marsh Flats. We'll dredge Golgari Grave-Troll. Play the Gemstone Mine. I suppose we'll just flashback Faithless Looting here. They fetch in response. Is this an Orcish Bowmasters? Because if so, I don't believe it triggers when I dredge. Daze. Okay. We will pass. Now they're going to use the Nile Spellbomb. I hope I draw into like a Faithless Looting. I'd also take Careful Study. Land number 4. We'll play it. And then I will take some amount of damage here. I'm not sure if I want to tap the Gemstone Mine or not. We'll play Poxwalkers. They have 4 cards in hand still. And that's an Orcish Bowmasters. Yep. I would like 1 copy of Faithless Looting, please. We'll take 2. I'm at 12. Under City Sewers. Golgari Thug. Sure, we'll cast it. They have Ghost Vacuum. So our opponent's deck has a lot of hate in it. I mean, main deck now Spellbombs and then into Ghost Vacuum. They are deciding to attack here. They Fatal Push on the Golgari Thug inside of combat. We'll target the Golgari Thug itself to see if they use the Ghost Vacuum. I didn't want to put Poxwalkers on top, so that's why I targeted the Thug itself. Land number 5. I could play a 1/1 Golgari Grave-Troll. We will pass. Ouch. I go to 6. And they have a Psychic Frog. Yeah, I mean, I could play the Stinkweed Imp to block here, but I'm going to go to 4. And then they have Ghost Vacuum to push through more damage. And then I take 2, and then I'm not able to tap my lands anymore. So I'm good to pick it up. We've lost this one. This was kind of us just getting wrecked. But main deck Nile Spellbomb, it obviously hurts Dredge. So we're 1-1. Let's keep our head up and try to win the remaining 3 matches. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 3, let's see if we can bounce back here on the play. Yeah, no Dredger. I think you're supposed to mulligan this, but I want to keep it. Like, you have Careful Study to look, and then if you hit one, you have Breakthrough on turn 2 into Ox of Agonis. This hand is very stable, but if you miss on the Dredger, it doesn't do anything. I want to keep it. I realize there's going to be some Dredge experts that watch this, and they're like, no, you have to mulligan hands that don't have Dredgers. But the upside here is just so high. We'll play Mana Confluence and Careful Study. We did not hit a Dredger. Okay, so we'll discard Poxwalkers and City of Brass. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. We will pass the turn. They play Ancient Tomb into Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Yeah. So we're facing Painter with more main deck graveyard hate here. We find Breakthrough. I'll play Gemstone Mine. And then I think I'm going to Breakthrough here for 1. Actually, is that what I want to do? Let's just play it for 0, because I'm probably going to discard my hand to Lion's Eye Diamond anyway. And we still did not hit a Dredger. I am so bad at this. So bad at this. Like, I'm getting ultimately punished here. No Dredge creature in the top 25% of my deck. Alright, so now I will Ox of Agonis. This will trigger 2 copies of Poxwalkers, but they can exile one of them with the Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And that's what they'll do. So now we'll draw 3. Hopefully it's like land, Lion's Eye Diamond, Faithless Looting. No, actually, my bad. Dredger, Lion's Eye Diamond, Faithless Looting. I don't know why I said land. Wow! It's so bad! Oh, this is unreal. We'll pass the turn. I mean, it's my own fault. I should have mulliganed. But, I mean, this is like some historically bad luck here. Ah. And they're going to exile the Faithless Looting, which is unfortunate. They have a mountain. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Sure. We find Lion's Eye Diamond. We'll play the Gemstone Mine. I could be wrong, but I think I want to flashback Faithless Looting now. Because if they block the Poxwalkers, I'll get a zombie. Pretty sure that's how this works. Another looting. We'll discard Bridge from Below and land number 4 maybe? And now we'll go to combat. They exile the bridge. And we'll attack. If they block, post-combat, I can go Lion's Eye Diamond, flashback Faithless Looting. And instead they just take 8. We will pass. Fable of the Mirror Breaker triggers. They discard Vexing Bauble and a Great Furnace. There's a Saga. Goblin Engineers. That's another creature that blocks. Devour. Oh, I'm just dead. Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just dead here. Yep. Okay. Was not considering that. Maybe I should have been. So let's bring in Silent Gravestone because it stops Agatha's Soul Cauldron from killing me. But also Fairy Macabre and Surgical and all that stuff. And then if they have Leyline, which I feel like isn't very popular anymore. Part of me is thinking that, like, if they have Leyline, I think I'm willing to lose to it because, like, I almost never see Leyline out of Painter anymore. But I think I'm just going to accept the L. We'll get rid of Oracle. And then maybe the Breakthroughs. And just try this. Game number 2, we're on the play. I mean, we've opened up an incredibly good hand. We will keep this. So this hand gets wrecked by Leyline of the Void or Simian Spirit Guide Pyroblast. Fairy Macabre. Like, there's ways that we lose this, but I don't think you're supposed to send this back. And that looked like an F6. So we're going to hold control. We'll play Careful Study. And then in response, I'm going to discard my hand and add 3 red. We will dredge Golgari Grave-Troll. And then another Golgari Grave-Troll. And now we'll discard 2. Narcomoeba, we'll say always yes, and then auto-yield to the trigger. Let's flashback Faithless Looting. This will bring back Poxwalkers. Dredge Golgari Grave-Troll. And another Grave-Troll. Discard. We hit an Ox of Agonis. We'll Cabal Therapy them, sacrificing the Poxwalkers. This will bring back more Poxwalkers. And Bridge from Below. We'll say Painter Servant. Like, it probably doesn't matter, but show me your hand. That's what I want to see here. Fury, Soul Cauldron. Okay. Now we'll Dread Return on the Ox of Agonis. Make some more zombies. And now we'll Dredge. Troll. Another Troll. And a 3rd copy of Golgari Grave-Troll. There's 11 cards left in our deck here. Let's Cabal Therapy them. And now we'll make more copies of zombies. We'll say Fury. There's so many cards named Fury. This is ridiculous. I think I just saw it. There it is. Okay. And then we'll Dread Return on a Golgari Grave-Troll. We'll get rid of 1 zombie here. So now we have a really large troll. And by really large, I mean 7/7. We'll Cabal Therapy them again. We'll name Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And pass the turn. Not a bad turn 1. Sweet. So I think I made a mistake in sideboarding that game. I mean, it worked out because we just went bananas. But if they have like a Soul Guide Lantern off of an Urza Saga, or if they open hand it, like I might want Into the Floodmaw, but I'm not sure. Like boarding in a blue card to answer something against the Pyroblast deck does feel really silly. But maybe I'm just not supposed to respect the Singleton Soul Guide Lantern. I'm going to resubmit. Like, I'm sure that a Dredge expert will chime in the comment section. But it just seems like boarding in bounce spells for like a 1 or 2 of Soul Guide Lantern feels like a losing plan. This hand is very close. I did not keep a Dredger in game 1. I want to keep this. I think I'm supposed to mulligan. There's no discard outlet, but you do have a Soul Guide Lantern, or I'm sorry, a Silent Gravestone. We'll go to 5. Keep this bottom Narcomoeba and the second copy of Cabal Therapy. Great Furnace. And a Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, well obviously I'm punished here. It looks bad in hindsight. I'm just going to play the Silent Gravestone for now. Pass the turn. They have Goblin Welder, Soul Guide Lantern. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be winning this one. I just don't think it's possible. Even with a bounce spell, like I'm not winning this one. Like if I had a Into the Floodmaw here, I would still lose because they just replay it. I'm going to concede. Like I'm sure I could sit here and waste 20 minutes of my time losing slowly, but we're not winning this. And I just value my time here on this planet, so we lost this one. We're now 1-2. Yeah, 1-2, with 2 matches still to go. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Round number 4, we're on the draw, and this hand was 1 land away from greatness. However, all you can do is draw, discard your hand, pass. Like, I don't think that's good enough. We'll take a mulligan. Ay. Okay, looks like we're going to 5. Our opponent has kept 6 cards in their hand, but we have to go to 5. I guess I'm going to keep this, but it's not good. We'll bottom Narcomoeba and the second copy of Poxwalkers. They play a mountain. Vexing Bauble. Well, I'm glad I didn't keep a hand with the Lion's Eye Diamond in it. We draw another copy of Careful Study. And if I had to guess, our opponent's playing Painter. It could also be Moonstompy, Careful Study. The Cephalid Coliseum here was very good. We'll pass. So next turn I should be able to play Cephalid Coliseum and then activate, but we'll see. Elegant Parlor. This does say Painter again to me. So can we get revenge on Painter? We'll now dredge the Golgari Grave-Troll. We have Stinkweed Imp in our graveyard as a dredger. Let's activate the Cephalid Coliseum. Target myself. Stinkweed Imp, and a Golgari Grave-Troll. Discard Cabal Therapy, and a Golgari Grave-Troll. Narcomoeba will come back. Yes. And now we'll Cabal Therapy targeting the opponent. It will be countered due to Vexing Bauble. But in the meantime, I get some Poxwalkers and a zombie. I could flashback this other copy of Cabal Therapy for another zombie. It means that I have a 2-turn clock instead of a 3, assuming they don't play a blocker. I think that's probably worth it. If you wait a turn, you could hit like another bridge from below and get another creature, but I don't think that's actually meaningful here. On our end step, the opponent sacrifices Vexing Bauble. Arid Mesa, okay. That is a Painter Servant. They name blue. And they Red Elemental Blast my land. Well, I wasn't planning on using my land, but we'll see. Because I wasn't even going to play the Careful Study. We hit Ox of Agonis, but I don't have a Dread return. Maybe with hitting double Cabal Therapy, I would have used the land. So that actually ended up working out. So they'll take 8 here. Well, now Cabal Therapy targeting them, sacrificing the Poxwalkers. And they Grindstone, right? Enlightened Tutor. We just have lethal on board. I don't know if it actually matters or not. We'll name Enlightened Tutor. And we'll pass the turn. Urza's Saga. Painter's Servant. And then they can play the Goblin Engineer, but I still have lethal on board. Right? Yeah, because I can attack them for 12. We will dredge another copy of Golgari Grave-Troll. We'll say yes, yes, and we'll go to combat. Swing, better, swing. Wait, this actually just puts them to 1, so they will get another turn here. I misspoke, this wasn't just lethal. And I stacked my bridge triggers wrong. That will come from me never playing Dredge. I shouldn't say never. I have played Dredge in the past. But I stacked my triggers wrong, so I will not get more zombies here. That is my own fault, and something to not do in the remaining matches. The saga will go to Chapter 2, and we win. So I played not the best there, but I'm not a Dredge expert, but I stacked my triggers wrong. Let's try to not do that again. Maybe I'll try a split this time with Into the Floodmaw and Silent Gravestone. I'm just not sure. Get rid of the Oracle. And I guess it didn't work. There it goes. So we'll sideboard out Breakthrough. And a bridge. Let's try this. Alright, I haven't learned my lesson. This hand is so good if I can draw into a Dredge creature. I'm going to keep it. Keep. Urza's Saga. And they pass. Into the Floodmaw. Not a bad draw here. We will play Faithless Looting. We did not hit a Dredger. I'll discard Bridge and Poxwalkers. Let's play out a Lion's Eye Diamond, just in case they draw into Vexing Bauble. I'll pass the turn. Urza's Saga goes to the second chapter, so they can search out a Grindstone or a Soul Guide Lantern next turn. Our opponent did nothing and just passed, holding open Urza's Saga for a Construct token. We did not draw a Dredge creature. I think I'd like to Cabal Therapy here. They use Fairy Macabre in response, sure. And, I mean, I think if they would have played it if they had it, but I can't afford to lose to it here, so I'll name Painter Servant. Vexing Bauble, Red Elemental Blast, okay. And now we'll play another copy of Careful Study. No Dredge creature again. Hurts my feelings. Get rid of Cabal Therapy and Narcomoeba. We'll play Lion's Eye Diamond. Pass the turn. They make a Construct token. I hate that, by the way. This is the worst Construct I've ever seen. Not a fan. And now they'll make another. And now they can search their deck for a Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, this game is going to be tough. They go after Poxwalkers here. And now they'll play Plateau. And they have Red Elemental Blast available. I go to 16. And this is the problem with Into the Floodmaw in this matchup. Like, it's just not a reliable answer. And I finally hit a Dredge creature. But the problem here is that they have a Soul Guide Lantern. I think I just have to wait for a window and pass the turn. They play Arid Mesa and the known Vexing Bauble. So one of the few ways I could win this is if I draw another copy of Into the Floodmaw. So I think we have to try to bounce the Bauble here. Or Bauble, Soul Guide Lantern. Or, I'm just throwing this out there, if I draw, no, Careful Study doesn't do it either. I think I'm just dead. Another Golgari Thug doesn't work because they just respond to the Coliseum. I guess I have to just go for it because it's not getting any better. And at least next turn there's a chance I draw into something good. So they're going to exile my graveyard here, and I need the 3 cards I draw to be good enough to win. So our graveyard will be exiled. And now I need these 3 cards to be good. They were not good. We can go to the next game. Alright. What to do. I don't think we're ever beating Soul Guide Lantern, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm just going to board in the Breakthroughs again. And just hope that on the play we can Goldfish them. It also feels weird to me that, like, traditional wisdom is that you board out Breakthrough. But then I struggle to find discard outlets, or I struggle to find dredgers. I don't know. Like this hand, no Dredger again. And like my list is based off of stock lists off MTG Goldfish, and I feel like I'm not drawing discard outlets or I'm not drawing dredgers. So it's pretty frustrating, if I'm being honest. We will mulligan. Keep this bottom Cabal Therapy, Gemstone Mine, and Careful Study. We'll do Golgari Thug and Poxwalkers, and I'm going to do it like this because if they have a Fairy Macabre, I'd rather Golgari Thug be the card that's exiled. They play a Mountain. Soul Guide Lantern. Yep. You got it. We draw Lion's Eye Diamond, which doesn't help me. Let's Careful Study again. Into double Narcomoeba. I don't know if it could get worse than this, if I'm being honest. Stinkweed Imp and a Narcomoeba. We will pass the turn. So the reason I chose Stinkweed Imp is I think we need to make our opponent want to sacrifice the Soul Guide Lantern. So that way I could still stand a chance of winning. I don't think they sacrifice it for a Golgari Thug. Magus of the Moon. I don't know how much that matters here. I guess it shuts off Breakthrough or additional copies of Careful Study being good draws. We will dredge Stinkweed Imp into nothing. So I can discard my entire hand here to Lion's Eye Diamond. Or we could try to play the slow dredge game, which is probably more successful. They play basic planes. And now a Vexing Bauble. Yep. And I'm punished for not playing out my diamond sooner. But like, if the plan is to draw discard, you don't want to play out Lion's Eye Diamond. So I held it, and then our opponent played a Vexing Bauble. And now I can't discard my hand into Ox of Agonis. So it just seems like everything that could be going poorly sort of is. And I don't like complaining this much in my videos, but I can't remember the last time a deck that I played felt this bad. Like, this is not a deck I'd recommend. And I'm not trying to badmouth people that play Dredge or enjoy Dredge. It's just like, this doesn't feel like a deck that is well positioned. Painter's Servant. The reason I actually chose to play Dredge, by the way, is that I asked the member section of our Discord. So if you're a YouTube member and you pay to get the videos early, or if you're a Patreon member, you can sync your account to Discord, join that member section. But I asked people what they wanted to see, and somebody said Dredge because they felt like it was really good versus the Surgical Extraction Fairy Macabre metagame instead of Leyline of the Voids. I am here to tell you that that person was wrong. It is garbage. Not having fun. This is not good. And I thought that maybe they were right for what it's worth, because if you watched my Ruby Storm video, I lost the 5-0 match to Dredge. But it was a different sort of Dredge build. They were also playing the 5-color lands, which people on Goldfish are moving away from. But they were also on the 5-color lands. But the nice thing about their list is that they had a bunch of like Nature's Claims and stuff, which I feel like the Flood Maws in this list should have been Nature's Claims. Because then you don't have to worry about Pyroblast on your answer. So I think Into the Flood Maw was wrong in hindsight. Like, it should have been Nature's Claim. We hit another Dredger, but nothing else. We'll go to discard. They attack. We'll take 4. We're at 7. We will dredge Golgari Grave-Troll into no Narcomoebas, which means I can't trigger anything. So we're seeing the lack of Ichorid here. Like, almost no one plays Ichorid anymore, by the way. But when you don't have Narcomoebas left, because you've drawn all of them, you struggle to bring back your copies of Poxwalkers. I'm going to just concede. Like, they're going to attack for 4. We draw discard again. Like, there's nothing I can do with this amount of time. So we're 1-3. Who knows if we win match number 5, but I'll try to get back half of my play points. Thank you for watching this far. I really do appreciate it, and let's see if we can get the 5th and final match. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The final round, we're on the draw. I will keep. We have a way to put a Dredger to the graveyard. Then we have Breakthrough to follow up. I'm not sure what the opponent's playing, but this seems like a reasonable 7 cards to me. No way, Painter again? It feels like it's not a very good matchup for the Dredge deck, and yet it's all we can pair into. We'll play Faithless Looting. Discard Golgari Thug and Poxwalkers. We will pass the turn. They play Mountain number 2 into Painter's Servant. Yeah, I believe we've lost this. I would need to dredge my entire deck here into the Thassa's Oracle. We hit Narcomoeba. I guess we could pray that they don't have a 3rd mana source. What does a winning game look like? I think I need to draw. Okay, so I could just play Breakthrough here and dredge off the Golgari Thug. Or, hear me out, we could play Faithless Looting. And then if I hit land, Lion's Eye Diamond, Breakthrough actually goes nuts. But I'm not sure if that's too much of an ask. We're going to just play Breakthrough, and then we'll look at the first Dredge to see what it would have been. There was Lion's Eye Diamond Cabal Therapy, but that wouldn't have been good enough. So if the top four were in a slightly different order, and then we didn't hit another Dredger, so we're just toast. We will play Cabal Therapy. Poxwalkers happen. We'll see Simian Spirit Guide, because that shuts them off of activating Grindstone. And they have a land. Okay, so we lose. We will go to game number 2. A few copies of Silent Gravestone, and let's try 3 copies of Into the Floodmaw. Get rid of Breakthrough, 1 Bridge from Below, and the Thassa's Oracle. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and after you do that, click that join button. It contains all of our membership information, such as access to our members exclusive Discord, members exclusive videos, and the best perk in my opinion, you can watch all of our videos early, 1 to 2 weeks in advance. That way you're always up to date on the latest and greatest content.